Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking, you guys, because Oliver has entered the chat. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion, so this is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram is at AnonymousRealityT. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Share with your family, your friends, and your foes. So we need to talk because Oliver has entered the chat, you guys. He has entered the chat in the Funky Dineva versus Michelle ATLien Brown, and it wouldn't be me if I didn't react to this. It wouldn't. I feel like, in particular, you know, Funky started all of this because he was trying to defend Quad. Because Quad is his friend. And he wants to maintain all of these relationships, all of these connections in the industry, right? Even if it means completely throwing somebody else under the bus and attacking somebody else as a deflection, which is what happened here. And basically, Oliver comes on, and here's the thing. Why does he long stroke us? Shout out to the lead attorney. Why are you long stroking us this content? I kept having to fast forward through this thing because I'm like, okay, well, when are we getting to this? But he wanted to long stroke us because he said he's really not in here in these YouTube streets like that because he's got a big job over at Facebook. And he said that, you know, he doesn't know at this point how black YouTube content creators can deal with beef and deal with all this and that. And it's just like, I'm like, this is not going to end well. I already see the vision. I already see how this is going to go. So we get towards the end of the video, you guys, and he is setting this up, wants to set up the fact that basically he considers Funky Dineva closer than close, basically outside of family and everything else. Like Funky Dineva is like the closest thing. Basically, you know, he was considered, I guess, early on an assistant of Funky Dineva's, but basically said that he wasn't doing any work. He wasn't really, like, he was just really just, you know, able to do whatever, do his own thing, because he was pursuing his music degree in college. And also wanted to give background as far as the fallout of Funky Dineva and Michelle ATLien Brown. So he said that he was there the day that, you know, Funky Dineva had to be out of the house or the marshals were showing up. And basically they left in just the nick of time. And so basically Oliver confirmed that the place was a mess. Oliver confirmed the place was a mess. It was a disaster, that he was not comfortable enough to even take off his shoes or socks. That it was that dirty, it was that trifling, it was that disgusting, you guys. And so nonetheless, basically said that they filled everything up into the brim in the U-Haul and wanted to, and there was some time frame or whatever, some time period that he had disappeared or he had left or whatever. And he's trying to vouch for Funky Dineva that there's no way that anybody would have been able to have taken the washer and dryer. But if you are renting from somebody, right? If you're renting from somebody, you are responsible for any and all damages that have taken place during the duration of the rental. So whether somebody called a friend in advance, whether somebody else coordinated something after the fact, I mean, we're never going to know fully what happened there. But nonetheless, I feel like ultimately Funky Dineva, it was going to be his responsibility because basically when he moved in, the washer and dryer was there. And when Michelle ATLien, you know, went to go do her check and she has the video receipts, none of that stuff was there. So he would still be liable. I don't even understand why this was like even a thing to like try to like make it seem like there's no way that this would have happened. And I guess he said at some event that he saw Michelle ATLien Brown at, that he told her to her face that there's no way, you know, Funky Dineva didn't take that washer and dryer. Well, somebody did, and somebody had access, you know, to the property while Funky Dineva was a tenant. And if the U-Haul was filled to the brim, how do we not know there was another friend or somebody else that transported it? So I don't, and again, this is what happens, you guys, when you go to vouch for people, right? When you go all the way in, because you basically confirm that it was dog doo-doo. Because you didn't confirm of what Funky Dineva is trying to retell it as being some kibbles and bits on the floor. So make it make sense, right? So basically my takeaway is him and Funky Dineva have a super close relationship. They gossip about everything. They gossip a lot about these reality stars and whatever else. And what the real tea is, basically alluded to that Married to Medicine is a fake show, that he knows them all individually and knows what their real tea is. And that's why he can't watch the show, because there's too much fake storylines. Also, we get into finally, you know, did he say what Funky Dineva was allegedly saying, that he was talking about Michelle ATLien Brown's hygiene, right? And so basically we go down another journey. We go down another journey where Oliver is asking the Lord for forgiveness, saying that he's repenting, that he feels bad about gossiping, he feels bad how his name and how his brand is going to be impacted. Said that he felt a way that Funky Dineva, put this out there on his platform, and that he has since been in contact and had spoken with Funky Dineva. However, Funky Dineva did not mention anything about throwing his so-called friend under the bus. Didn't mention it at all. They have a photo shoot coming up here in a couple of days on Sunday, and they were talking about that. And basically, it sounds like to me, he wants to maintain this relationship with Funky Dineva because of the access and the opportunities and things like that it provides. And basically is looking at how long they've been friends and everything else, that he's not just going to abandon him, but basically said moving forward, he's going to keep his mouth shut. Now we'll see whether or not that rings true, but nonetheless, that's what he's claiming. Basically said that he was on the set, confirms that he was on the set for the Nene Leakes show. And that was the Nene Leakes taping in which Michelle ATLien Brown was on, as well as Carlos King. And Oliver confirms that he was there because he was there in a professional capacity, because he was going to be working with Nene Leakes and all of these things. And I guess apparently, allegedly, Nene had told him that she liked him and all this and that. So he said that he was the one that walked up to Michelle ATLien Brown, right? And he wanted to make it a point to say that her perfume and everything else smelled good of whatever she had on. But then made the comment, you guys, that he said to Funky Dineva on the phone when he was recapping this day on set, that he sees what people say about Michelle ATLien Brown. He sees why people make the comments about Michelle ATLien Brown. But then he wants to say, I don't want to bully anybody. I don't want to attack anybody, da-da-da-da-da. And basically alludes to there being he's told basically Funky Dineva, I see what people say about Michelle ATLien Brown. There was some type of flesh odor. And it's like, is this what we're doing? Is this what we are doing, you guys? And so, nonetheless, is putting this out there to, all of his followers and everything else. And it sounds like to me, like, I feel like Funky was in the wrong to even put this out here. And I feel like Oliver is basically confirming what Funky Dineva is saying, but is apologizing more so because he understands how this looks if he is allegedly gossiping about what is going on while he's on set with these other people, whether it's reality stars or celebrities and the like. That could be a reputation of you allegedly gossiping about what is going on. And if it's supposed to be something that is supposed to be under wraps, if it's supposed to be, you know, a closed set, or, you know, keep this on the low, you can speak on it if and when it airs, or if it comes out to the public and all these things. But that could be, you know, hurting, you know, potential business relationships in the future. If this is what's happening, because Funky Dineva also threw Nene's name under the bus and alleged that Nene said the same thing too. Now, we don't know that. And Oliver didn't speak to that in this particular video, or on whether or not him and Nene had a conversation about that at all. So still there's a few little holes for me in the story that I still, you know, that we're never going to get the full answer to and everything else. But basically overall, in a way, he, you know, did essentially confirm what Funky Dineva said, because nonetheless, you're trying to say semantics, but essentially you end up confirming that, you know, you were saying something about Michelle ATLien Brown's hygiene when it was all said and done. So that's not nice, right? And that's the thing too. It's like, you know, like some of these relationships I don't understand, you guys, on YouTube. I don't at all. Because basically you're saying you're always gonna advocate for Funky Dineva because of, you know, your long-standing friendship, the opportunities that you've had because of him, and you guys still work together and you guys are still cool. But obviously there is a messy component. There is a component where y'all just gossip and drag all these people, and one of those conversations basically came to the public that was not supposed to. Allegedly is what this all sounds like. But nonetheless, I want to know what you guys think about this. I want to know what you guys think about this, of Oliver apologizing more so because he doesn't want to see Michelle ATLien Brown get bullied, but also because of his concern of potential professional relationships with clients in the future, that he doesn't want a reputation that he's messy and a gossip. But then on the flip side, is upset with Funky Dineva that Funky Dineva put this out here on his platform, but they haven't really had a conversation about this and what was said and everything else, because he wants to maintain whatever additional benefits, you know, professionally and personally, that Funky Dineva provides. So nonetheless, didn't address it at all, you know. And he was the one that said that his phone was blowing up at like 3-4 in the morning the night that all this stuff had happened, but basically waited to, that was the other thing he said, he waited to do this video because he had been rehearsing on how he was going to do it, because he basically said no matter how many ways he rehearses this, it's going to come out wrong, it's going to come out bad, and he's going to have to just, you know, bite the bullet and do it. So there's that. That's all I got for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.